I can speak, by the way. But as you may realize, there are two things that you need for any good illusion or deception. The trust of the audience and the trustworthy appearance of the deceiver. And there are people whom you just do not trust, such as mean magicians trying to misdirect your attention with an endless stream of patter. And so I've chosen to do this first little thing that we just saw silently, thereby establishing the open and honest relationship we have just started in silence. And now this is done, I can hopefully even put this old swindle on the table without you possibly suspecting me of any lies or other forms of indecent behavior. Ladies and gentlemen, the cups and the balls. In this case done with 2 copper cups, 2 little red balls, and the magic wand. This trick is so old you may be wondering why a philosopher does this stuff. It's so old it was actually first described in the writings of the Roman philosopher Seneca, and it did for almost 2,000 years define the odd discipline that has variously been called sleight of hand, legerdemain, prestidigitation, or even white magic. Whatever the terminology, a performance of this trick always started with a little demonstration of how, under the influence of the magic wand, you could easily make one of these balls disappear. The second ball would then go just as easily. Well, it would. There wasn't somebody watching way too closely there in the first row. So you should blink once in a while and making this ball go would be easy as well. No audience ever applauds the disappearance, of course. That's, I guess, how to bring them back. In 1838, a performance of this trick seriously offended a famous Frenchman. The man was Robert Houdin. He was then the most famous watchmaker of France, and he was also a very fine amateur magician. In 1838, he had already invented a couple of things. He had invented a mechanical flute player, a writing automaton that could answer a seriously restricted range of questions, and the first coin lock for public toilets. When he saw a performance of this trick in 1838, he confessed to his diary that he was disgusted that a colleague in 1838 still performed this miserable 2,000-year-old swindler in front of an audience as enlightened as myself, as he wrote. And so you will not be surprised to hear that in his own performances, Robert Houdin never did the cup trick. He would never take one ball, then the second one, then make the first ball go to its cup, and the second ball go to its cup. He would never do that. Instead, he would use his knowledge of watchmaking, optics, and electricity to create a repertoire that relied mostly on ingenious pieces of apparatus. While he applied the science of his day, his 19th century colleagues discovered that pseudoscience worked actually just as well. They would dress up the cup trick as, how they called it, an experiment in supernatural physics. A delightful term if you think about it. They would present it in the following manner. They would say, if I strike this cup and then strike that one at a specific resonance, this will cause this ball under this cup to dissolve into its material constituents and move along an invisible but straight line across to the other cup. It has often been said that old age is the time of synthesis. That's very true of Robert Houdin as well. When he turned 60, he discovered that the cup trick actually fit his scientifically informed bill quite well, at least if he too presented it as a feat of science. He would tell his audience that his metal cups were made of an amalgam so rare and secret that it was only known to the most advanced scientists of his day and himself, and he said that this explained why his cups were as permeable as the very air. Being a slave of the truth, I will tell you no such rubbish, of course. I will openly admit that my cups are the cheapest copper cups that I could get at that street corner magic shop in the South Indian city of Tilman Andris. Maybe it is because of the cheap material that it actually takes a while before the second penetration occurs. But eventually, it does. Now I realize that this is a bit difficult to follow. This is 2 cups, 1 2 balls, the magic wand, and 19th century pseudoscience. And so in order to make this a bit easier to follow for you, I put one of these balls away so that you can follow this ball way more easily as it jumps over to here. Or if I put that one away again, it jumps under my knee, goes through the top of the cup, lands in the cup, and then there too. Well, you, sir, over there on that first table here, yes, well, you've already cut the rope, I know that, but if you wanted to make a little red ball appear somewhere on this table, where would that be? Please bear in mind there are always more possibilities than you think of. Under this cup? Okay, well, be my guest. You see, you may be wondering why I told you all these things about 19th century magic. Well, I haven't told you the end of it. There was one illusion that Robert Houdin was especially proud of, and that was a mechanical orange tree that would grow fruit on stage while you were looking. If you wanted to make something big and bright and colorful, such as an orange, appear in any of these 2 cups, under which cup would that be? Under this one. Okay, well, be my guest again. So you see that the story of Robert Houdin is actually the story of a convert, because when he discovered, towards the end of his life, that the cup trick was actually a trick that he could perform, he discovered that you didn't need a clockwork to make fruit. Thanks a lot.